Hi everybody and welcome to this channel. So on this channel I am going to be talking you through and taking you through my personal experience with starting day trading from pretty much no experience, having seen a few things online but I've never actually tried it until I started about 2 weeks ago. So I've actually started a £20,000 FTMO funded trading challenge whilst also working full time. So I thought it would be fun to document it and take people through how I do and things, because I'm sure there's a lot of you that are maybe wanting to start day trading or want to start a funded challenge. So feel free to subscribe if you enjoy the content and like the video, and come along on my journey and see how I do. So for this video, I'm really going to be going over a few basic things, such as who I am, my reasons for starting this funded trading challenge, my trading background, and like I said, I have a very minimal understanding of day trading at this point in time, so it's going to be very interesting to see how it goes. Also, how I plan to balance day trading whilst working a full-time job, what the rules of the funded trading challenge are, and what my goals and fears are for the future. So, why did I start the FTMO funded trading challenge? Well, like I've put in the slide, number one, I did it to prove to myself that I can develop the skills that are needed to trade professionally. But really, as well, the second and probably even more important than the first reason is, to make another form of income for myself. Hopefully, be able to make some meaningful money. But I think, it's important at this stage just to sort of learn how the market moves and things. So that's what I'm trying to do with the assets that I'm trading. I also really wanted to document it. Like I said, I think there's a lot of people who would really like to try day trading, but they're too worried, or they're too scared, or they think that it's too complicated. So, and believe me, I felt all of these things. There was a point in my life where I could have never imagined trying to do this, which is why it's so important to me to document this, so people can get a real transparent look at how it actually goes when you're starting out from the bottom. So, what does my trading background look like? Like I said, it's extremely limited, and when I say I have a very limited background in trading, I'm literally talking about just videos that I've seen online and posts I've seen on social media about it. I mean, it feels like there's several creators and influencers, and they're all claiming that they've got the $1 million strategy, but you know, in reality, I think already, even at this point, I just think that one strategy that works for somebody else might not necessarily work for another person. So I feel like it's important for people to try a few things, and really, you've got to spend time. I already understand that concept, that you've got to spend time with the markets to really make strong observations and understand what's happening and why it's happening. I have, like I said, I started with ETFs and crypto and things like that, just dollar cost averaging. So I would just put a certain amount of money in every month. But, over time, my understanding of personal finance has evolved. I did this for a few years, and then, I started to really get a keen interest in how the markets work and why they work. And those two things are essential if you're wanting to start day trading. that's a really important mindset to have. Why are the markets moving? What's making them move? So really think about that if this is something you're thinking about. In terms of balancing day trading and working a full-time job, there are two types of accounts that you are able to set up when you create an FTMO funded trading challenge. I chose the swing account, and that is an account type that allows you to trade on weekends and through the nights as well. And that's, essential to my strategy in the sense that some day traders, it's their full-time thing. They can sit there Monday to Friday and they can observe the markets and make trades within trading hours, and by that I mean they can make trades in when the Asian stock market opens, when the London stock market opens, or when the New York stock market opens. But I know working a full-time job that that's not going to be possible for me. So trading on evenings after those markets close and trading on weekends when the markets aren't open is essential to my strategy. Like I said, by doing that, it allows me to be able to focus my trading time outside of my full-time job, and the bulk of it, already I have done a little bit of trading, and I've mainly done it at night after work and on the weekends. So nights and the weekend is going to be the core of my trading and when I choose to trade. So I imagine that a lot of you are thinking, so what are the rules of this £20,000 funded FTMO trading challenge? Well, the trading period is unlimited. So that means that I can take as many days as I want to pass this challenge. The minimum trading days are 4. This is important because it stops people getting lucky. So basically what that means is you've got to trade for at least 4 days. Like, for example, I couldn't just go and make one trade and hit the profit target because that doesn't show FTMO that I know what I'm doing. It just seems like I got lucky. So you need to prove that you can make consistent profits, consistent gains, and it's not just a fluke and a one-off. The maximum daily loss is 5% of the account, which is £1,000. So if I lose that, then I have failed the challenge. If I lose that in one day, that is. However, if I lose £2,000, which is 10% of the overall account value, then I just lose the challenge again. So basically, it's important not to lose £1,000 in a day and not to lose £2,000 overall. And the profit target is also 10%. So I've got to reach £2,000, and then if I manage to reach that, I will go through to the second phase of the challenge, and I'll also be reimbursed for the cost of this challenge, which was about £200. So really good value, guys. I mean, that is really good. £200, to put that into perspective, to control £20,000 worth of assets. So just think about that for a minute. You are leveraging by spending that money. You're leveraging an asset, and it allows you to use that money to trade and to build your skills. Just for a little further clarity on what I was saying previously, you can see here that I've made a flowchart to visualize what I was saying and to be able to better explain it. So if you can pass phase 1 of the FTMO challenge, which is always 10% of the overall account value, then you will get the initial cost back that you paid for the challenge, that will be reimbursed to you, and you will then be put through to phase 2, which is the verification phase. That's actually easier, and as you can see, the profit target's only 5% for phase 2, and that's because you've proved to FTMO or the trading provider that you've got the skill set, and they are just looking for a little further. They just want slightly more proof, and if you're able to pass phase 2, you move on to phase 3, which is FTMO trader, and at that point you have access to the total account value that you selected at the start of the challenge, and you will at that point you'll have that money, you'll have that account, and you'll be able, all the profits you make will be yours, and you'll be able to cash them out at that point. They won't just be going towards the challenge. So it's really good if you're able to pass and get this funded account, whatever the value is. It's a very good tool. So what are my goals and fears when it comes to day trading and this journey that I'm about to embark on to try and learn this? I think my main goal, like I've sort of mentioned throughout the video, is to learn a solid skill set, and not just that, but a skill set which will potentially allow me to supplement my income. I think that is ultimately the goal of this. And I don't think it'll surprise anybody to hear that my biggest fear is failing and not being able to identify a strategy that is consistently profitable. So yeah, I think it's good for me to vocalize that out loud, because I imagine that is a fear that prevents a lot of people from doing this. So if you're thinking of starting day trading and that's how you feel, please know that you're not alone. That is a very common thought. Thank you for watching. That's the end of this video. I hope that you found this video interesting and what I said was helpful. If you enjoyed the video, please feel free to like, and also if this is something that you're interested in, then subscribe to the channel, as you'll get to see firsthand my journey and how it goes in this field, and that will give you an idea of how it is to start from the bottom, like I said. So be sure to follow along with my progress, because I'm going to be posting twice every week and giving regular updates about my own journey, and any tips and tricks that I figure out on the way, I'm also going to be sharing.